G'day everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Endeavours for the 25th of February. As always, timecodes will be found below if you just like to jump straight ahead to one endeavour that you're searching for, or if you just want to skip some stuff, you know how it is. This stuff here is pretty good. Every option here is honestly great. If I were to choose though, I'd go the top three options, but really you can choose any of these. I don't think there's anything wrong with any of them. The only thing with these two here is this one, treasure maps, if you don't have one in your inventory already, if you do, it's probably quick anyway. But some of the treasure maps, their location could be somewhere where it's a bit of a pain to get to. And this one here can be a little dependent on the campaigns, how things are going. Most of the time it's going to be quick though. But these three here, set up correctly, like they're always really easy. But yeah, like I said, nothing wrong with any of them. So starting with jewelry crafting, this is a DLC dependent option. But if there is any DLC I suggest getting, Somerset is without a doubt the first one you want to get, because jewelry is honestly such an integral part of this game. Like, I really feel like you're missing out if you can't craft this stuff. Obviously, you can get other people to craft this thing for you, but for the Endeavor's sake, if you don't have this DLC, just do one of these other two options. I think that's better than just buying it now, because eventually this will become base game, as well as jewelry at some point, I assume. But yeah, it's a really easy option. The first thing I would recommend is if you have access to writs, you can do jewelry crafting writs. All these entail is you've got a quest here, you'll have to craft some rings or some necklaces. These count for crafting alongside the Endeavor, and these are always really good to do because you get platings. Sometimes you get chromium platings, which can sell for a fair bit. You get surveys, which give you raw materials, which is great. You get some other stuff as well. It counts as a quest as far as some other Endeavor sets goes. So there's just a lot of good things that you can get from doing jewelry crits. So you will want to do these if you can. But if you don't have access to these, don't worry too much about it. What you want to do is head to the nearest jewelry crafting station. Every city has one. In example here, Deshan, right next to the Wayshrine, has an enchanting table and a jewelry station in here. So it's literally right next to the Wayshrine. It's really good, this one. Craglorn, Belcarth is very much the same. It's like right next to the Wayshrine. But you want to come here, you want to go to crafting, and you just want to get 4 pewter rings. At level 1 you can craft these, and it's only 8 pewter, that's all it needs. You don't need star materials, you don't need to worry about traits or anything. So, yeah. Some pewter rings, I would advise, if it's not for the writs, just go ahead and deconstruct them, because you will get a little bit of the resources back that you used to craft them with. So that way you recycle a little bit of what you used before. Whoops. In there. If you're after jewelry materials, in guild stores, you go to jewelry crafting here, in materials, you go material. Probably don't go raw material because it's a lot more expensive. And I wouldn't buy anything other than pewter because it's a significantly less expensive option. Especially compared to platinum, which is just ridiculous. And you also need to use more to craft each item, as opposed to pewter, which only needs 2. It's the lowest amount of items needed per craft. So pewter rings is the way to go. But as you can see here, sometimes it can be a pain to find pewter. If you're struggling, let me show you something you can do. So what you want to do is go onto the World Wide Web, and you want to go to Tamriel Trade Center, this thing here. I'll link this in the description if you want to take a look. So what you can do here is just type pewter. Oops. Go pewter, no, not dust, sorry, pewter ounce. And you can go advanced search. You can go, if you only want a certain, like, small amount, you can go between 1 and 10. Go unit price between 0 and 10. I don't think you should need to spend any more than that. And as you can see here, you can see a list of like all the pewter ounce that's out there. And if there's not much here, you can just go advanced search again and just maybe increase the price per item a little bit. But anything more than like 12 or 15 is like, I think, pushing it too far. You shouldn't really need to spend any more than that. So yeah, you can see 6 there, 8 there. For a tiny amount of gold, that's very little. If you need any gold at all, just check the description. There's a Endeavor's prep video that just explains how to get some gold easily. Obviously, you can run around and find some jewelry materials yourself, just mine some jewelry seams. Just be aware that it will only spawn if either your jewelry crafting passive, the engraver passive here, is 1 out of 5, and / or your character is below level 25, I believe it is. Because if you don't have those parameters, you'll get other types of materials which you can use them, but it just you need more, so you'll need to mine more resources, and so that will take longer. So just be aware of that. Okay, Humanoid Daedra. I personally like to go to a dungeon here, Imperial City Prison, for this, because there are approximately 8 or 10 Humanoid Daedra at the start. They're just a little bit tough to deal with compared to Overland. So if you're not really well versed in fighting shit on your own, probably use one of the other options, which I'll talk about later. But you can do this on your own just fine. You just need a build that can survive. You know, something like Vigor is usually enough for this sort of thing. So, this group here has 4 Humanoid Daedra, the Zivkin and the 3 Dremora over here, so that's they're the 4 targets you're looking at. There you go, there's one. Go over here to this one, kill him, that one, and this one over here. Obviously you can AoE them down if that works for you. So over here you've got a group of enemies over here, so you can see a Zivkin and a Dremora. That alone will be enough to complete this endeavor. There's also a few more Daedra on the other side. Just over here, you can see them. If you don't want to deal with the Zivkin, these guys here are a little bit weaker. And the reason I use this place is, as soon as you go out this door, it will take you back to where you came in from. So if you use a wayshrine to get here, you can then use the wayshrine to travel somewhere else. It's really convenient. It's also instance, which is basically it's isolated from the rest of the world, whereas the other options are not. That's why I like to use this one, because no matter what's going on in the outside world, the other overland options could be packed with players, and that one there's going to be no players killing anything when you go in there, so you can just, it means you're not wasting any time with that. But the other options are usually just fine as well, though. So if you want to go overland, my usual choice for this is Library of Dusk in Cold Harbor. So whether you're coming here from the Wayshrine or from Hollow City, if you've never been before, you can find a lot of Humanoid Daedra around here. Most of the enemies here count. The only things that don't are the Flame Atronachs, just leave them alone. But the Dremora and the Seducers, these are Humanoid Daedra, and there's quite a few of them. So this all along like this area here. If you've never been here before, you can use Cold Harbor Surreal Estate through Home Tours. If you need to know how that works, just check the description. I've got an Endeavors prep video for that too. You can find it here, and it's really handy. You can just travel around the world without needing wayshrines for free. It's just really handy to understand the system. It can save you a lot of time. But there's a lot of Humanoid Daedra in Cold Harbor. Basically every area has them in some degree. So Library of Dusk, you've also got Court of Contempt over here, which also has a wayshrine right next door. Village of the Lost, there's a lot of Humanoid Daedra in there. There's I think Grotto of Depravity and Cave of Trophies also has a lot. Yeah, like most of the areas here has a bunch. The only place I wouldn't bother with is here, because there's only like Bosma. Over here is like Soul Shriven. But yeah, mainly just stick to Court of Contempt and Library of Dusk, so that's usually all I really need to get this one done quickly. There is also a couple of other options. In Stormhaven up here, there are Dremora in this area here, as well as in Shadowfen. In Sanguine's Domain, there are a lot of Humanoid Daedra in here, especially on the southern rooms. If you need to get here, or if you want to use this option here, my advice is use Ample Domicile if you've never been to Shadowfen and you haven't unlocked any wayshrines, because otherwise you have to go through boat swings and stuff. It's a bit more of a pain. Whereas this one here, you just travel straight over and just head east, and you're all good to go. Okay, let's take a look at option number 3, which is Parlor Furnishings. First things first, if you own a house and you want to check if you've got one available, what I would advise you do is open the housing editor, go to Browse, and then check Retrieve, this section here. If you see anything under the Parlor section here, you can see these 2 tea tables. Anything in this list here works for this endeavor. So either you can click on it and go put away, or you can do the same thing by finding it in the environment. So I've got this tea table here. So what you do is you just click it, and you go put it away. Same thing. In this case, in the housing editor menu, once you put it away, in order to do this as quick as possible, because you can't just left click, spam, pick it up, put it down. It doesn't work for the Endeavor. The quickest way is to, because it has to come from your inventory and be placed down that way. So to do that as quick as possible, you just use undo and redo instead. So at the bottom left, you see it says Z is undo. So you just hit that. That works for the Endeavor. And you just go Y, redo to put it back away, and then undo again, redo, undo as many times as you need. So if you get the options that require more furnishings to be placed, you can just do that over and over to just speed up the process. Okay, now on to locating yourself a set of a parlor furnishing and a house. The house is available for free. The parlor furnishing you'll need to spend a bit of gold on. So firstly, the parlor furnishing, Rozika over here. These are both found in Daggerfall over here at Daggerfall Wayshrine. This is unlocked as soon as you start the game, so you can just travel here when you're ready. So Rozika, just open the menu with her, go down close to the bottom, you'll see a tea table carved here. It's 250 gold, I know. You can buy them for cheaper on guild stores, so maybe what I would do is, just like with looking for pewter ounce, just check guild stores and check Tamriel Trade Center, see if you can locate a tea table carved. So if I just go to the Trade Center here again, so just go tea table, carved, and then search it and see if you can find any that are like really cheap. So you can see one there, Riven's Fire Shornhelm, that's base game area here. So yeah, you can see some cheaper ones here if you want to have to spend less gold. But if you're not worried about that, if you're just worried about time, you can just buy it straight from here. And same thing with the house for free over here. You don't have to spend any gold for this one. So all you have to do is talk to this woman here, this Breton. She can be found in other places, but if you want both of these, you can just get her from here. There's another place you can find her really easily, just in Adon. She's literally right next to the Wayshrine here, and she's right next to this building. So yeah, same thing. So either way, just have a chat with her, just go through the dialogue, and eventually you'll complete a quest. You'll get some gold, which you can spend on the house. If you're like level 40-ish, I think you'll get like 250 gold. So any higher level character doing this quest real quick, you can get enough for the parlor furnishing. So that's good. And yeah, if you don't have the houses already, they'll show up here. Once you complete this quest, you'll collect the houses as well. And when you want to find the houses, you just need to go to map, to the houses tab here, and under collected, you'll see them appear. So you'll either get this one here, or you'll get this one here. Obviously, if you have other ones, you can use those instead. And yeah, you can just left click, travel, and go inside, and that's the way. Okay, now we're looking at repairing in Cyrodiil. Most of this time you're going to be doing this one for is going to be looking for something to repair. Actually repairing it is super duper easy. The less you get into combat with this, the better. So you can do it on any character pretty much as well. You can do any of these on any character really, and they're all pretty fucking easy to do. But yeah, this one especially. So first thing you need is to find yourself a campaign where your faction is doing pretty well, because you'll need some keeps to be able to repair. In this case, I don't want to go Ravenwatch because it is entirely owned by Ebonheart Pact. If you had an Ebonheart Pact character, that'd probably be nice to look at, but even then, sometimes it's a bit iffy. Usually Greyhost is the one to go because this almost always has some keeps for you to access. But it's just dependent on the day. Sometimes all the campaigns can be just like taken over by enemy factions. It's just hard to say. Depends on what characters you've got available, what's going on, and yeah, just among other things. So in this case, we're in luck. Altmere Dominion owns everything. With a bit of luck, we'll be able to just find one keep that has a wall damaged, or maybe not. We'll see. So what you're going to need is 2 of these Cyrodiil repair kits. You can get these really cheaply from siege merchants. Every keep that you're going to go to repair has one of these siege merchants in one of the corners somewhere. You open the menu with them, you'll see Cyrodiil repair kits here for 90 gold each. So you only need 180 gold to complete this, and it's fucking quick. Assuming you get lucky with the walls and stuff. I should also mention though, you'll get the Cyrodiil Assault Crate and the Cyrodiil Defense Crate. These have repair kits in them. You'll get these when you level up characters. I think you get one at like 20 and one at like 30, something like that. And yeah, every single character you level up is going to have these. So you can hoard up a bunch of these things real quick. Well, not really quick, but without having to pay anything if you level up these characters over time. So just be aware of that as well. You might have some lying around that you don't need to pay for. So what I'm going to do is just go towards like the later keeps here, and I'm just going to be looking for anything where the health bar is not full. So if you want an easy way to know if there's some walls that could be repaired, these are what you're looking for. There's these like crane tools holding stone blocks. These indicate that the keep wall is not actually full health, so you can see this one here, and this is perfect. That right there, 397,000 health. I think the maximum is 410,000. So if we just go over here and repair this, that alone is going to be enough to complete this endeavor. It should be. Oh, it just automatically repaired itself. Did it? Yeah, see? So 403, and now we use it again, it'll go up to 408, and that's everything we need. That's as simple as it gets. So yeah, obviously the only problem is finding yourself some keep walls. Sometimes you'll get here and there'll just be nothing that needs to be repaired. What I would advise you do is firstly look for these things here, and if they're not here, the next step is to go into the corners here and check these, because these tend to be the last thing that ever gets repaired by other players. Just be aware, sometimes in very, very rare circumstances, you'll be inside this area and it will, like, you'll get a load screen and this whole section will just disappear and you'll be out in the middle of nowhere. To prevent that, just make sure you stand behind this little wood part here, because this is where the thing seals up, this section here. Yeah, other than that, there's really nothing else to it. The keep doors can also need to be repaired, as well as the poststone walls on the side. So we've got the poststone platforms there that can also be repaired, and they usually need a lot. And also the poststone walls here, which usually need a shit ton as well. So yeah, again, you just look for these repair crane tool things here, or the lift tools. When you want to leave Cyrodiil, you just go back to the entrance here, to the gate, to these gates here. It's just dependent on which alliance you are, and then you come over here to the way shrine, and you can use this just like any other way shrine, so you just travel out this way. If you, by chance, get to a keep, start repairing it, and it becomes under attack by players, if you want to leave ASAP, just go to Imperial City and queue for one of these campaigns, and just accept that, just like you would a Cyrodiil campaign, and that will get you out of the keep without needing to port away. So that's just like a oh shit way. So if you're here, for example, and Ebonheart Pact ended up attacking, you could just leave. Okay, digging up chests and treasure maps. The only way to do this is the chest directly from the treasure maps you find in your miscellaneous tab. They show up on a trophy, and they're a blue quality one. My advice for this is there's a certain group of treasure maps that will always be easy to do, regardless of what way shrines you have. Obviously, if you've been playing this game a long time, you'll have a lot of way shrines that you can choose, so it's not going to be a problem. But I assume there's kind of people probably not watching this kind of thing. But yeah, it depends. If you've only got like one map, just try and go for it anyway. But Kanathi's Roost is a good one. The trainee zones, I call them. So there's 4. There are 5 trainee zones, but there's only 4 I recommend. So Kanathi's Roost, you've got Balfoyan over here, you've got Betnik over here, and Strace Mackay over here. The reason I suggest these 4 and not Bleak Rock as well, Artaeum is also a decent option. Hunting's Palatial Hall, these home tours houses, they all have a home tours house which you can travel straight there and not need to go to boat swings or anything. You just travel straight to the zone. And the main reason is these zones are tiny, so there's only a small area where the treasure maps can be, so you don't need to worry about unlocking way shafts to get to them quickly. These are basically always going to be quick, only a few minutes. But in this case, I've got one for Alaka Desert, so I'll just look at that. But the ways to get treasure maps in this game, you can get them from treasure chests, ironically. You can get them from Thieves' Troves. Thieves' Troves are a pretty good way, actually. From dolmens, from urns and stuff. I wouldn't suggest trying to do that for today. If you don't have a treasure map on you, just do one of the other options instead. But if you do, or if you can find one for cheap, definitely do that. So if you want to find them on guild stores, you just go to miscellaneous, to trophy, and just set it to superior. So that being said, there is one legendary type of treasure map which you can get, the Glenmoral treasure maps. They're very cheap usually, so you can use those too, and they're a good option. But if not, just check here for this stuff. And yeah, just look for those 4 zones: Mackay, Kanathi's Roost, Balfoyan, and Betnik. But yeah, it just depends on what you've got available here. You'll probably have to go through a couple of guild stores to find anything worthwhile. So yeah, just go to places like... there's always one city in each of the zones that has 5. So as an example here, Skywatch has 5. You can go to Shadowfen for 5 in Stormhold. There's 7 in Deshaan, 5 in Ebonheart Pact. Ebonheart, sorry, the actual town. So yeah, you just have to do stuff like that. But honestly, at that point, I think that's just being like complicating things too much. Just do the other options. They're usually less time taken. But in this case, I've got one for Alaka Desert, so I'm just going to do that. So here's an example why I just like maybe skip some of these. I don't have any wayshrines nearby, so getting over here is going to be a pain. That being said, sometimes you could also use home tours to do this easier as well. So I'm just going to use, in this case, I'm just going to use Sentinel Wayshrine, but it's going to be a bit of a trip for me, so yeah, I'll just skip ahead. Ooh. Oh god. Long days. You could get someone to chauffeur you to the nearest wayshrine, but I just don't like relying on people because that, I don't know, that takes time. I'm lazy. Or perhaps I'm efficient. Yeah, we'll go with that. And here. And oh yeah, sorry, I meant to speak about this this add-on here. This is called Lost Treasure. This will help immensely for surveys for crafting writs and also treasure maps here. So I'll link this add-on in the description if you want to get it as well. Because yeah, it just skips the whole having to find it yourself through the map minigame if you don't want to do that stuff. I know some people like that sort of thing, but I'm playing too long to bother with it anymore. So there we are. So as soon as you dig up the chest, you don't actually have to loot it, and that will complete the endeavour. I would still suggest looting it though, because you might get something worthwhile. Okay, that's it. I've gone through every option. They're all good. But yeah, like I said, sometimes these can be, these two, the repairing and dig up chest ones, can be a little bit weird. But yeah, definitely much better than a lot of other options you tend to find in some of these lists. Okay, that's it. Thanks everyone. Any questions, you know the drill, just give me a holler. Wish you all well. I'll see you next time.